YouTube is happening. It is Saturday, July 12th, and we're going to start with the MLB today. We have our 15 games before us. It is the Saturday before the Sunday, which is before the break. So you got to be cautious today because who knows what's going to happen today. We're going to look at the spreadsheets. We're going to look at props, see if we can find them, try to find some value out there. I don't know. There's going to be some I know. Just we got to find it. We got to hunt for it. So that's what we do here. So a little recap of yesterday, like we always do. If you tailed me yesterday, I know you had a good day because this is a 9-2 card. Everything except for two things hits. The only two being Scooble, of all things, did not hit. He only had 5 strikeouts, I believe it was. So, hey, not his best day. Whatever. I would still take that play every time. So, what can you do? And then outside of that, it was the first Nerfy in the Pittsburgh, Minnesota. No, the second Nerfy. The Atlanta, St. Louis. They both had runs. I think they had 5 runs in the first inning combined. So, those are the only two things that it hit. 9-2 overall. Plenty of percentage went to the bankroll. It was a great night overall. If you want the plays typed out for every single sport, I do, or you want access to the spreadsheet so you can do your own research without me for every sport, this WNBA, MLS, all of them, all you gotta do, go check out the HQ right there. Simple as that. So enough of that. We have our 15 games. We're not going to waste time. Let's jump to the first one right now. All right, before we jump to it, we got to do weather this time because there are some weather events out there we need to pay attention to. Yankees, nothing to worry about here. Detroit has wind blowing in. It's a very windy day is what I'm noticing out there. 12 miles an hour in. Minnesota, 13 miles an hour out. St. Louis, 10 miles an hour out. San Fran, doesn't really matter much here, but 14 out. Nothing in Baltimore really. Since he's got 10 miles an hour, Milwaukee, no. Chicago, the White Sox, 10 miles an hour out. Boston's 8. No real rain issues I don't see, but then Casey's nothing. San Diego 6. Houston, LA, there you go. And then 10 for the A's. So yeah, tons of wind out there for us in our game. So let's go ahead and jump to that first one now, which is going to be Cubs and Yankees. Yankees did a very, very good job yesterday hitting as one of the 3 legs over the money line parlay and hitting the over 9.5. That was a beautiful day. Currently, we got Yankees 164 with 8 total, or 8.5 total. Let's go look over here. Offense galore, baby. Top 2 offense is Yankees. Top 10 is the Cubs. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. Let me hit some refreshes over here on my outlier so I can make sure it's the crispiest lines. Let's go over to it. So this is outlier. Link in the pinned comment. Click it, sign up, get you a whole week for free. It's absolutely worth it. Go do it. So let's put it on the game it's need to be on. Let's change this over to the right game as well. We'll just leave it like that. That's fine. So Max Fried Chicken going out there against Matthew Boyd. All right, so we'll look at these two. These two are going to get some pretty stacked offenses, so I don't know how this is going to go for them. I'm going to keep it real, keep it a buck. It might be a rough day for the pitchers. So let's see. Max Fried earned runs. He's at 2.4 in his last 5. He had a zero against Cincinnati, a 2 against Boston, 3.43. So he's a 2.4 average. We come over here to Boyd. His is earned runs is a 1. Boyd's been pretty damn good. So we have 2 pretty good pitchers that are combining for a 3.2 or whatever it is, 3.4 ERA. And then we have 2 bats that are amazing. Let's go look at the matchup, see if there's a specific thing we can exploit. Currently, Max versus Cubs history. Turner's got 16 at bats with a 375. Outside of that, there's a 429. Everybody's got like 1 home run. Nothing screaming take it. Turner maybe, but no. I want higher than 375. Let's go lefties for Chicago versus, there you go, and Yankees versus lefties, and then Boyd versus Yankees. And yeah, Judge has a home run, but that's about it. Nothing really stands out here. So do we trust the bats or do we trust the pitching, or do we be smart today and leave this game alone? Because so far, the pitch is good. Now I look over here, I see numbers, these are good, and then I see this is good. And it's like, well, I mean, there's too many good things here. The smart thing to do is if you have to question that many times about something, just leave it alone. Sometimes, I will say in every video, sometimes the best play is no play. And I mean, you could take either play, any of them, and they could literally hit. But why sweat for no reason when you have other ones that we can easily take later on that'll make more sense? So we're going to pass no lean on this one and move on to game 2. All right, game 2 is going to be Seattle and Detroit. Currently, Detroit slight favorite, 7.5 is our total. Spreadsheet loaded up. See the numbers. About the same. Nothing's really screaming take a side either way. Let's go over to the pitchers to see what we got in this one. So we're going to get rid of those 2, load up this one, change it over to this. So anybody strikeouts? They both are bottom 10 in strikeouts. So we should probably look at strikeouts for both pitchers. So let's go look at I was going to say George Kirby on strikeouts. It's right there. I'm blind. Got you. Strikeouts 4.5 for Mize. He's averaging 5. That's not good. And then Kirby is strikeouts here is 5.5, and you see how he has been. He finally got 9 against Pittsburgh. He's going up against Detroit today. This could be a play, but then I don't like how he's done recently. 5.5 seems like not much for him because he does have that ability. Because look at early in the season. Wait, last season? Yeah, it was last season he could do it. Last season he's shown he can get this, but this season he has not. He had 14 against the Angels, 9, and then been slacking against everybody else. So we can't trust that. He could do it, but I can't. I can't do it. Let's go Mize versus Seattle. Historically, Polanco has 14 at-bats with a 357, with 2 home runs, 5 ribbies, and a 1.2. It's pretty good. That's pretty good stuff. We want to actually come up here and take a look at that now and see what his line is for today and see if it pops up. Oh, look, Mr. Polanco shows up in our list for a hit. There we go. So we'll take a look at him real quick. And we see HRR, last 10. He's at 2.3, which is close. On the hit on the last 5, he's at 2.4. We could take this. Head-to-head, you see how he does. He has a 157. I could take Polanco. He has good history versus Mr. Mize. So that might be something worth looking at. Then we get into Seattle righties, Detroit versus righties, Kirby versus Detroit. Anybody stand out? Rogers has a 600, but only 5 at bats. I want more data than that. I like the data that we have for Polanco, basically. 357 is pretty decent. Yeah, this is good stuff. And he's doing decent enough where I can take him. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Polanco. Polanco over 1.5 HR is my play because I like HRR plays personally. So you can see he's done hit last 10. Yeah, plus 100 as well. Good stuff. We'll take that next. All right, game 3 is going to be Pittsburgh and Minnesota. We took the Nerfy in it yesterday and it worked beautifully. A little sweaty, but it hit. The top of the first was sweaty. Skeens got in 3 strikeouts. Easy stuff. So today we have Minnesota 135 with a 9 total. We come over here. Still under 9 is absolutely on the menu. 9? Are you serious? Are you sure? I don't know about that. Look at them numbers. They are rough. Pittsburgh is the bottom offense. Not shocking out there, but hey, that's what they are. Let's go look at the numbers. Pirates, Twins, and we see it's Burrows versus who? Is it a bullpen? What do we got going on here? Oh, no. Oh, no. We have... Oh, we don't know. Uh-oh. Burrows is going out for Pittsburgh, and then Minnesota doesn't know who. What the hell? How do we not know who's pitching in some of these games today? That's weird. Undecided for Minnesota. Okay, so we can only do so much. Burrows, let's take a look at Burrows' numbers. Earned runs, 2.5 currently. And then we see it's this. Well, whoever's going out there for Minnesota gets to go against the worst offense in baseball currently in Pittsburgh. So I still feel kind of good about an under. And then Burrows has been fairly good outside of 1 game against Texas. So matchup, nothing there. Minnesota versus Burrows historically, nothing. Minnesota versus righties, nothing. I still feel kind of good because I don't care who's pitching. They can send 2 minor leaguers making a debut out there. These 2 offenses suck. Let's keep it a buck. They are trash. 2.3? That ain't as bad as we've seen this week. We saw 1.5 earlier, but damn. I expect Pittsburgh to pop, but I don't think it's going to be today. So, nah. I'm down. I'm down. Let's go for under. Let's go for that under 9. That sounds like a good one. This seems like a snooze fest. This is one of those ones you put on the TV to take a nap today. So that's it. We're going to take it under 9 and move on to the next one. Next up, Atlanta, St. Louis. One of the 2 losses yesterday because they burned my Nerfy because, hey, whatever. They're not as bad as the last game, but they're close. Currently, we have St. Louis 125 at a 9.5 total. We come over here. See, the numbers aren't as bad, but they're still bottom 10. They're below average for both teams. I didn't realize St. Louis is now at 29th in runs. Good job, guys, for being so bad. Let's look at the pitching in this one, see who's going out there. Oh, that's right. We don't know. We know 1. We know Fetty's going out there for Atlanta, but no, Fetty's going out there for St. Louis. We don't know who Atlanta's sending out there because we just saw it. It's a mystery. Who knows? But still, anywho, we can take a look. Earned runs, same story. This one hit the over yesterday, so and Fetty is not good. My God, look at this dude. He is kind of hefty, isn't he? Kind of trash. Kind of glad, not good at all. So let's look at his matchup. Fede versus Righties. There you go. Well, actually versus Atlanta. Damn, Atlanta tees off on this guy, dude. My God. Okay. Harris has a 714 and 7 at bats. Riley has a 364 and 22 at bats. Ozuna has 615 at bats. That's crazy with 2 home runs and at 1.8. Braves. Yeah. I don't what the hell. We don't know who's going out there to pitch though. That's the thing. I think I gotta go over today. So what do I do here? Ooh, options. I'm not taking like three different dudes. Okay, let's think about this. There's something here. We gotta find it. So we have our numbers. We see everything's doing. Atlanta's, they're decent. They're average when it comes to hitting. They're just leaving some new stranded. St. Louis offense sucks. The 29th, 23rd, 29th, they're definitely stranding people too. So, but Atlanta, we see, has clear advantage against Fetty. Fetty's not, so we need to fade Fetty. That's what we need to do. That's all we need to do is just go back, look at the Fetty line at 2.5, see it's over, have a good chuckle about it, and put it on the sheet and move on. Stop overthinking things, right? Yeah, that's what we need to do. Over 2.5 earned runs because Atlanta should just tee off on the guy, right? Right? That's what I think. We'll take Fetty, 2.5 runs over next. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is going to be, man, I can't believe the Dodgers are on such a losing streak all of a sudden, but hey, it happens. It happens. Let's see. There we go. It is Dodgers 142. They've been favored in every single game of their losing streak, which is hilarious because some people just keep on betting them over and over and over. We took San Fran yesterday, not only in a straight bet and in the parlay, and it hit. It was beautiful. So eight is total. Let's go look at the spreadsheet. The reason why is because we faded the offense. The offense is so bad right now. They're on a bad streak. In baseball, you take the teams that are streaking. This is what you do. It's simple as that. If it's a bad streak, you fade them. If they're good, you take them. It's pretty simple stuff. We come over to the props. Let's look see who's pitching today and see if we want to touch this game because the offense is just not good. They took their vacation early. Yeah, they'll be fine. The Dodgers will be fine. I have no issues there. No worries. Urup going up against who? Who is the pitching against Urup? That was Ohtani with his strikeout. All they want to give us is strikeouts because hell, how many innings is he actually going to pitch? And then since Ohtani's been pitching, he hasn't really done too much with the bats. So yeah, it's yeah. And the Rup is kind of let's look. Ohtani, what have you been up to? How many innings are you even pitching? 1-1-2-2. I doubt that's going to go up today. So it's probably going to be two tops. So his strikeouts are 2.5 against San Francisco, who actually, you know, a strikeout prop. They both tied at 25th, allowing 9 strikeouts per game currently. That ain't good. So let's go over here. Ohtani, cool. Urup earned runs. Last 4 games, he has been absolute a beast, except for the game against the Dodgers, where they beat him up for 6 runs. So instantly makes me not want to take Dodgers, San Fran today. So let's look at the matchup. Urup versus LA, there's your data. We come over here. Dodgers versus righties, San Fran versus righties, and Ohtani versus San Fran. Pretty good numbers overall. Nothing I wanted part of, to be honest. I stole somebody with San Fran yesterday. I think we got in the right point. I'm getting out before Dodgers in this losing streak because it's becoming the news, it's becoming the story. So I personally am going to leave this game alone and move on to the next one. All right, let's move on to the next game, which is going to be Miami and Baltimore. Okay, interesting. We got Baltimore 165 with a 9 total. Cool. We come over here, we see our spreadsheet. Miami's offense is starting to struggle. Baltimore's starting to surge a little bit, pretty good. So we can lean Baltimore here. They're both on 3-game streaks. One's good, one bad. We take the good streak. So Baltimore has home field advantage. The bats and the streak all in their favor so far. Let's see if they can at least, be decent with the pitching. We might be taking some Baltimore today. Change this over to Orioles, and we got Rogers versus Jansen Junk. Now, Junk didn't get our strikeouts last time, so I'm a little annoyed by that, but that's okay. Let's take a look at the earned runs for both these two fellas and see what we got. Junk, he didn't get it, but yeah, you can see he's been pretty good, 2 average, and then Trevor Rogers is even better at a 1 average. So yeah, to me, both pitchers are good. Rogers, I think, statistically better. Like last 10, yeah, he's at 2.2 last 10. Last 5, good stuff. So Rogers versus Miami, they're facing. That's good for Rogers. Miami versus lefties. Baltimore versus righties. Junk versus Baltimore. A little bit of data, but nothing there. So I think I'll leave Baltimore. They're at home. They got the bats. They got the streak. I think they got the pitcher. So what's the money line? Money line sitting at 165. Ooh, I don't want to take an over or under. So Baltimore will go in the money line parlay. I will say that much. So we'll do that. Yeah, let's just say Baltimore money line. Let's just do ML. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. So Baltimore is the first play in the money line parlay so far. Let's move on to the next game. All right, sliding on over to Cincinnati and Colorado. Guess who won that game yesterday? That's right, Colorado won. Shocking. Yeah, had the strikeout. Burns was nasty. 10 strikeouts, I think I saw. I don't know how many finished with. I think it was 10. But still, dude was amazing. It still lost. Because, yeah, we got a skiing situation happening over there. We're going to have somebody who gets a bunch of strikeouts, pitches pretty well, except for the one game he got destroyed. But then you lose his games you shouldn't lose, like to Colorado of all damn teams. So, whatever. New day, we move on. Where's it at? How's Cincinnati at? Am I blind? Colorado. There they are, way down here. Cincy is minus 300 with a 10.5 today. Who is going out there today? I got to know. The bats are still favoring Colorado, but slightly, but still not that I want to touch, to be honest. I don't want none of that. None of that. Thank you very much. We go just to this to do this right there. There they are. Found them. Bradley Blaylock. Who? That's a new one. And then we got Brady Singer, so that makes sense for Cincinnati. So let's just grab Singer real quick. Blaylock has not. Okay, he hasn't pitched since May. That's why I was like, who? It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute since we've seen him. Literally 2 months since he started a game. So his earned runs was 5.8, 4, 4, 6, 3, 12. Holy shit, that is a lot of runs. And then Singer is this over here. Oh, that's the hits. Never mind. Earned runs. Thank you. At a 2 line. Okay. There's a team you're gonna tee off on. Is gonna be this pitcher for Colorado. It has to be, right? So, all right. So let's go ahead and just toss Cincinnati into the moneyline parlay because that's what's gonna happen. I think based on this, actually, let's go back up. We didn't do it all the way. Let's finish it. Singer versus Colorado. Historically, nobody tees off. Nope. Righties versus Colorado, Cincy versus righties, and Bradley Blaylock versus Cincy. It's all green. It's only been one game, but you can tell it's all green. Yeah, we're going to take Cincy. I know the bat numbers aren't looking the best, but they get runs, which matters most in this situation. So, and they're facing probably the worst pitcher I've seen this season going out there for an ERA. And his first time in 2 months. Yeah, we're going to take Cincinnati on the run line as well. I know crazy times we're doing this. So we're going Cincinnati on the run line as our straight bet. We're going to throw Cincy money line into the money line parlay next. All right, next up we got the Mets and the Royals. Currently, we are sitting at Mets, slight favorite, 125 and a 9.5 total. Spreadsheet. You see why it's high because the offenses are above average, pretty good. We come over to the pitchers and we load up and see is Lorenzen versus, well, there's no props here for the Mets because they're sending out Frankie Montas. And if you want to see Frankie, here's his stuff. He's 1-1, 614, 12 strikeouts, 1.3, and he's only pitched in 3 games this season. But the last 2 games, 4 earned runs, 6 earned runs, not good. But then before that, 0. So he's allowing 10 and 3. So he's got a 3.33 average on his earned runs. We come to the props. We look at Lorenzen. We open up the 2.5 for him and see what he's been up to. He's got a 2.4 average in his last 5. 0 against Arizona is pretty good. We go matchups. Lorenzen, history, Mets. He owns the Mets. What? Yeah, surprising. Yeah, there's a couple of home runs, a little bit of runs, but look at the averages. He owns them. Righties for Mets. There you go. KC versus righties and Montas versus KC. Not much data at all. So we have 2 offenses that are above average. We have 2 pitchers that are shutting down the opponents. I don't know what the hell's going to happen in this one. To the point, I don't want to touch it. No, nah, not a chance in hell. Y'all can have this one. I'm passing. Next. All right, moving on to Boston and Tampa. Boston still rocking number 1s on the offense. No surprise there. We come down, we see it's 185. Boston with an 8 total. We go to the spreadsheet, we see the numbers. There's the offense galore. Tampa's just average on offense. So there you go. Let's go look at the pictures and see what we got cooking over here. And we see Boston Red Sox. Yes. Scroll, get rid of you. And we have Shane Baz going up against Garrett Crochet. So we have a strikeout v strikeout day. Only problem is neither team's striking out much. So that does nothing for us. So we can look at it, but I'm going to tell you right now, these aren't going to be plays I'm taking. But you never know. We'll look. Crochet's 8.2 average on a 7.5. That's not good enough, sadly. That's why it's plus 110. Now, if you want to bump it out 6.5, maybe, but it is 180. That's pretty juicy. So, what's your earn runs? You got tagged against Cincy a little bit, but other than that, you've been pretty decent. And then we come up here and we see Baz strikeouts. His is 7.8 on a 5.5 against Boston, who historically he strikes out well. He strikes out Boston pretty well. So this could be a play. Absolutely could be a play. But then again, he might give up earned runs. So I don't know. Let's see. List the matchups. Crochet versus Tampa. There's your stats. Nothing much there. Lefties versus Tampa. Boston versus righties. And Baz versus Boston. Yeah. Bergman got a 556. That's pretty good. Only 9 at bats though. So I'm kind of inclined to take Baz strikeouts. I like this. Boston's known to strike out a lot. Tampa's not. Tampa's never in that bottom 5 category. Boston has been down there this season. They're just doing really good. See, look, 2025, they're averaging 9. They're just really good with the bats currently. So, I mean, I'm inclined to take the over for Baz at 5.5. But hell, you can even bump it down. Looks like we might be able to bump it down to 4.5. But then it goes to 190. So if you want to take both pitchers, you could. But you know what? I'm gonna roll the dice. We're gonna trust Baz on the strikeouts here, just because. It's Boston. Why not? Let's have it. Let's do it. Let's have a little fun. Over 5.5 Ks. Let's go for it, Baz. You can do it, buddy. I have faith in you. Give me that plus 120. Thank you very much. And we're going to move on next. Okay. And then we can move on here. I just realized Boston. I didn't show this. Look, Boston has an 8-game win streak too. And didn't even notice that part, but that's fine. That's fine. Don't care. I'm taking strikeout prop in that one. So let's move on. What's the next game on the list? It's going to be White Sox in Cleveland. Let's look at the line on that bad boy. Currently, it is 145 Cleveland with an 8.5 total. Spreadsheet, we see the numbers. Offense is still not good. Cleveland's creeping back up finally, like we thought they would. They're slowly moving back up the line. They won. No, the White Sox won yesterday. I didn't even know that. We passed on this game, I think, so I didn't have nothing to do with it. So let's look at what we got cooking over here. And we want Guardians and White Sox. Burke versus BB. Both bats are not good. Pitching, neither one strikes out much. Let's go to earned runs, see if anybody's doing anything different. You are a 3.6 average in your last 5, which is not good, versus Sean Burke, who's a 3.2. So we have 2 bad offenses and 2 bad pitching. That's not good at all. So Burke historically versus Cleveland. There you go. Righties for Cleveland. Chicago versus righties, and Chicago versus BB. I don't know. No. Two pitchers I can't trust, 2 bats I can't trust in a game that I don't really care much about. So pass. Next. All right, let's move on to the next game, which is going to be Washington, Milwaukee. We got, what, 5 left? 5 left. Nice. Currently, Milwaukee, 250 with an 8.5 total. Let's see why. We see the numbers. That doesn't tell us why, because that leans more Washington. Really, it's a push. No, more Washington, maybe, but then we just get the streak theory. Teams on streaks, you tend to ride them, so I don't know. Let's come over here and look at the props. Let me go get rid of you. We get rid of you. We change you to you. And then we see why. Who? Who is you? Who is you? Okay, I'm confused. Is this a double bullpen game? What the hell are we doing here? Okay, so you are going out there. You've pitched in a whopping 1 game, it looks like. Is that right? I don't like that. Is that... I got to open up the ESPN and take a look now. I got to look under the hood. We got to see what's happening because I don't like how that looks. Let's go look. Follow me. And we see you, Ogasawara. I just butchered that man's name. And yeah, he's pitched in 1 game. He gave up 7 hits, 4 earned. Yeah, that's right. We faded this man. That's right. Boston teed off on you. That was a winner. I forgot about that. And then you are going out there who you are 1-0. You are 158. You pitched in 1 game this season as well. So we have 2 pitchers who pitched in 1 game. 1 did good, 1 did not. One's facing good bats. Well, they're both facing the same amount of bats. So, all right. Not a chance I'm touching this, but I can't even look at the stats, the props or anything because there's nothing for us there. So since these 2 dudes have pitched in 1 game, I showed you the stats. I don't like this one. We're passing. Next. All right, let's move on. We got Houston and Texas facing off now. Scroll on down to it. Houston 120 with a 6.5 total. We pop over here. We see the numbers. Both offenses teeing off right now. Both amazing. Houston on a 4-game losing streak, though. Interesting. Let's go look at the props for the pitchers and see if we have anybody bad. Because if so, we're taking the over 100%. Easy peasy in this one. So, Rangers, Astros right there. Oh, it's DeGrom versus Valdez. Okay, maybe not. Maybe so. Well, no, we'll look. Earned runs. They're both at 1.5, though. That's not good. That's not good at all for that. 1.8 average for Jacob and 1.6 for Framber. So that is a 3-4 combined on a 6.5 total. Okay. Damn, these offenses are so good right now. This is a fun one because we have 2 pretty good pitchers, but the total's so low it's enticing. Because 6.5 is ridiculously low. It's almost like you got to autoplay, especially when you have these type of offenses. You give me this line, I take this line. I'm sorry, I don't care. 7.5 maybe I'd say no, but 6.5 I got to almost autoplay it. Let's go here, matchup. Let me show you this. Valdez versus Texas. Historically, there's some stuff. Marcus has some, not the average ain't good, but he's got a couple home runs, but you can see that. Lefties, historically, there you go. Houston versus righties, and DeGrom versus a Houston. There you go. You have a lot of good bats too. So we're going to play just the common sense play. You see 2 decent pitchers because we know pitchers can have bad days. What's the likelihood the entire team on both sides have a bad day when it comes to swinging the bat? I don't see it happening. So if you're going to feed me a 6.5 line, I'm going to take that 100% of the time. So over 6.5. I don't care how good the pitchers are. Bullpen's got to come in at some point, and we know bullpens aren't the best. So give me the over in this one. We're going to trust these 2 offenses averaging 13.2 runs in the last 10 games on average. Both of them batting damn near 300. Yeah, give me that. Next. All right, 3 left. Next one up is going to be San Diego and Philadelphia. Currently, Phillies 160 on the road, 7.5 is our total. We go to our sheet, we see our numbers, and we see San Diego still struggling with runs, but at least they're doing better with averages and like hits and stuff. Phillies just above average and everything. So, all right, current, good to know, good to know. Let's pop on my hill, change this to this. Right, yeah. Let's see what we got cooking over here. Wheeler versus Yu Darvish. This Yu Darvish's second start of the season. How did his first start go? I'm kind of curious now. And we absolutely, I mean, Wheeler strikeout 6.5 looks amazing. It's San Diego though. Come on, it's so hard to take strikeout props against them. Man, if you want to take it, it's going to be risky. I'll show it to you, but it's going to be rough. So what you up to in your first game? I went 2025. You had 2 earned runs in 3.2 innings. Not bad. How many hits you give up? 3? Not bad. Let's see. Wheeler strikeouts is at 9.4 and a 6.5 number. That's beautiful. But we know San Diego doesn't strike out much. There's 7 a game. And he's going to average, well, he just pitched a complete game last game too, which might be a little cause for concern. Are they going to make him go 9 innings again? Or are they going to let him go like 6 and pull him, or maybe even 5 and pull him? So I would leave the strikeout. It's low for a reason. San Diego's good at not striking out, and he just had a complete game. Yeah, they might not try to push him today, so I might just ease off on that one. Darvish history versus Philly. Anybody tee off? Not really. Let's see. Righties versus Philly. San Diego versus righties. And then Wheeler versus San Diego. There are your stats. I don't like this game. I don't like it. Wheeler could, he could easily hit 9, 10 strikeouts if they want, but it's San Diego. So it's going to be sweaty regardless. So why take the sweat when we already have a bunch of other plays that I feel good about? This one, I don't like it. We're going to leave it alone. Next. All right, 2 games left, almost done, and we got all the Red A's versus the Red A's. So we got Arizona, Los Angeles, and we have a pick 'em literally with an 8.5 total. We come up here, we can see what happened. Angels won yesterday. Everything's about the same, just like yesterday. The same team wearing the same color with the same letter on it. It's the same team literally. Let's go see who's pitching. Get rid of you, literally. And then we change this to Diamondbacks Angels, and we see we have Kikuchi versus Zach Gallen. Both teams are terrible strikeouts, by the way. Arizona's a little bit better now than they were yesterday, because now they're 21st. Angels are 29th now. Oof. Let's look at strikeouts for both of them. We'll look at just grab 2 and click strikeouts. Here we go. So let's start with Zach. Strikeouts we want right here. And we see he's been pretty good. 10-9 the last 2 games against San Fran and San Diego. That's impressive. That almost makes me want to reconsider and go back and take Wheeler. But I did what I did. I'm gonna leave it alone. Something's telling me not to take it today. So, but then he didn't do much against these 2 teams, against Colorado and Chicago. What? Dude's very weird. Outside of that, let's look at Kikuchi. His strikeouts are, let's see, 8.4 on a 5.5 there, but that's pretty good too. But we got to face, you're facing the Angels who are striking out a ton. I like that. I like them both, to be honest. Kikuchi versus Arizona. Historically, there's your data. Against lefties, there you go. Angels versus righties, and Angels versus Zach Gallen. He tends to, yes, he does. Look at the strikeout numbers, too. Oh, my God. Yep, that's the play I'm taking. I'm going to take Mr. Gallen's strikeouts versus the 29th ranked Angels, who are striking out 9.4 on all season. That's just what they do. So Arizona's typically down here. They're getting back down. They were about 30th, but now they're falling back. So give me Gallen to get the strikeouts. You could take Kikuchi too if you want. I'm going to take Mr. Zach here. So we're going to go Gallen because I'm not worried about Angels bats team off on them either. So over 5.5 Ks. Let's take that and let's move on to the last game. All right, last game is going to be Toronto and the Athletics, and there we go. What is this? We got this bunch of random games down here for September. These must be yeah, that's weird. August, September. So what? Oh, whatever. Allard, what are you doing? It's weird. Anyways, we got Toronto 140 with a 10.5 total. We come over here to the spreadsheet. We see both top 6 runs. They're playing the minor league park when the wind's blowing out 10 to 12 miles an hour today. Probably going over. That's what we did yesterday. It worked out nicely. So let's go look at the pitchers. If we have average pitching, we're taking over 100%. Don't overthink it today. Jacob Lopez, you give up runs, good sir. Kevin Gausman gives up a ton of runs. We know that. We're taking the over 100%. I'm just going to show you everything so I can say I showed you. Mr. Lopez earned runs. He gave up 4 to San Fran and 3. Before that was pretty good. And then Mr. Gausman has been, well, he's been pretty decent, but last 20, last 10, you can see. I think they both can give up runs. I think I'm taking the over. We're going to trust the 2 top 6 offenses every day of the week. Lopez versus Toronto. They like facing him. A bunch of 1-for-1s, 2-for-2s. Good stuff. Toronto versus lefties. They like lefties. A's versus Gulsman. Here you go. And then A's versus righties. Yeah, anybody tee off? A lot of people tee off. Good to know. Over. Just keep this one simple. Over 10.5. Absolutely. We're trusting the two top 6 offenses who are doing absolute work. The RBIs are there. The home runs are both top 5. Yeah, give me that. Absolutely. And we are done. Now, I started a money line parlay, but I did not finish the money line parlay. So we need to go back and finish it. So far, Cubs, Yankees, I did not touch on the money line parlay. I took a pass completely in this game, even though I'm enticed to take like a parlay of all the teams with like big winning streaks. That'd be like them, the Brewers, the Red Sox. Just put them all in a parlay just because. So we got Yankees, Cubs, we got Detroit, Seattle. Minnesota snooze fest here, and we got St. Louis, Atlanta, another snooze fest. Hopefully, San Fran, Dodgers. You could take the San Fran again, but who knows? Because Ohtani focuses more on pitching when Daisy pitches. You can tell he doesn't really care that much. Well, not care, but he's focused on pitching. So his batting seems to suffer on Daisy pitches, which is good for if you're taking San Francisco. Let's go Baltimore, Miami. I already got Baltimore in there. I got Baltimore and Cincinnati to be exact. So next 2 games, I have these 2 in there. If I go one more, I got KC Mets. That one's a pass altogether, right? Boston, Tampa. I have Baz having strikeouts, but Boston's looking so damn good. And it's crochet day. I lean Boston. I would say that. We might just add Yankees, Boston, and Brewers into it. Have a 5-leg just for fun. Why not? Chicago, Cleveland, absolutely not. Not a chance. Milwaukee would be one of those ones against Washington I could throw in there. They have the streak. We could trust the streaks. Hell, Houston streak in the wrong direction. Oh, San Diego, Philly. I have no clue what I would take in this one. And Angels, Arizona. We're fading the Angels strikeouts, but that doesn't mean both pitchers aren't decent and give up runs. And then the A's and Toronto, both teams are good. So yeah, let's do that. I want to have some fun. So we're going to go back. We're going to add all the teams that have the big leads. So Yankees are at home with a 5-game winning streak, playing pretty great. Let's throw them in there. Let's throw them in. Let's just do it. Let's just throw them in there. I've hit 2 money lines in a row, a 2-leg and a 3-leg. Both of them had the Yankees in it, I believe. So that's good stuff. We'll trust them for a 3rd time. Why not? And then we're going to come down to Boston, and they have an 8-game winning streak. Let's throw them in there too. Let's just have a 5-legger. I'm telling you, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun today. Don't worry. And then we're going to come down and trust Milwaukee, because why not? Why not? MIL. Done. There you go. That is a 5-leg. I'm going to go ahead and title that 5-leg so people don't get confused. 5-leg money line parlay. Good stuff indeed overall. Love that. So yeah, that's it. We're done. Let's go back to the schedule. Tomorrow, let's get rid of that and that. Tomorrow is Sunday already, and then it's the last day of baseball until the break when they come back on Friday. So I'll be back tomorrow. We will talk about these games. We'll break it down. I appreciate being here. Check out the HQ if you want the plays typed out in a nice list, or you want access to the spreadsheets. Check out Outlier. Other than that, drop a like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. 25K, we'll do another giveaway. It's been a fun week overall. The week was fun. Then we had a great night last night. Beautiful stuff. So let's go have ourselves a day. I'll see you tomorrow on Sunday for some more MLB. Peace.